Yo, what up? It's B-Cide here. And, lately I've been watching more and more videos about people using AI to create music. And, one video in particular got me thinking. It wasn't because someone was using AI, because I use AI too. I use it to help me organize ideas, brainstorm, write YouTube scripts, and make my workflow more coherent, but I don't use AI to create my music. I don't ask it to write my lyrics. I don't ask it to create my melodies. I don't ask it to sing my vocals. That's the part that I believe should come from me. What got my attention was watching someone that had almost the entire creative process done through the computer. And, the computer does everything. The AI does the lyrics, the vocals, the music, the production. The goal wasn't really to make music in a traditional sense. It was to generate songs that could be uploaded and hopefully generate income. And, that's what made me stop and ask myself a question. What does it actually mean to be a musician in the age of AI? Because I don't think this conversation is really about technology. I think it's about creativity, it's about authorship, and about where we draw a line between using AI as a tool and letting AI become the artist itself. I've been making music for over 25 years. During that time, I've watched technology completely change this industry. I recorded during the transition from analog to digital. I never actually had the pain of recording on analog because I grew up in the digital age. So I never got a chance to feel all that analog stuff until I was actually already used to recording myself digitally. But I embraced home recording. I embraced streaming. I embraced social media. I embraced TikTok. And now I use AI every day to help me work more efficiently. So this isn't coming from somebody who's afraid of technology. It's coming from somebody who's watched technology evolve for decades. To me, being a musician isn't just one thing. It's writing, it's performing, it's expressing real experiences, it's years of practice. It's creating something that comes from your own mind and your own life. Sometimes I'll hear a beat first and it inspires an idea for a song. Other times I'll write lyrics first and spend days looking for the right beat. Then I rewrite. I change words. I change bars. I experiment with different flows, different cadences. I record the vocals. I listen back over and over and over and over and over again. Anybody that's here can tell you how many times I have to listen to it. It's thousands of times. I'll tweak a line, I'll change delivery, then I mix it, then I master it, then I sequence it onto an album. Every song is a process. Every song has a story behind it. Sometimes it's something I've lived. Sometimes it's something I've watched somebody else go through. Sometimes it's an emotion I just couldn't shake. That's where my music comes from. Now, if someone writes all their own lyrics but uses AI because they physically can't sing, I understand that. To me, the creativity still came from the person. The AI became the instrument. And that's different. Technology has always helped the musicians. You have auto tune, there's compression, there's EQ, there's recording software, mastering tools. None of these things bothered me because they helped artists create. But here's where I really struggle. If AI writes the lyrics, creates the melody, generates the vocals, produces the music, and arranges the song, then I think it's fair to ask what part of that creation came from you? I'm not asking that to insult anybody. I'm just genuinely asking because if the computer created almost everything, then what exactly are you creating? My answer is the prompt. You know, maybe there were, maybe that's where creativity is headed. Honestly, I don't know. But I do know this is that when people listen to one of my songs, I want them to hear me. I want them to hear my experiences, my struggles, my victories from my perspective. That's what makes the connection between an artist and a listener meaningful. Now, I'm not afraid of AI. Like I said, I use AI. It's one of the most useful tools we've ever had. But to me, it should stay a tool because because what I've spent more than 25 years learning isn't how to write a prompt. It's how to write a song, how to tell a story. It's how to take something I've lived and turn it into music that connects with another human being. Now, technology will keep changing. It always has. It always will. But I believe the heart of music should come from a human being. Technology should help artists create. It shouldn't replace the artist. So I'm curious, where exactly do you draw the line? Stay strong. Stay wicked. It's B-Side. Like, share, subscribe. Tell somebody about it. All right. Peace out.